Dear students, welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to look into lab program number 10. And what is the lab program number 10? Write function to implement string operations such as compare, concatenate, string length, convince the parameter passing technique. So in this particular lab program, we are going to do the string operations. And what are the first, what is a string? A string is a set of characters, and we know there are many characters that are available in C programming, and combination of that is a set of those characters is called as a string. And one more important characteristic about string is that the strings always end with a null character, and string can also be thought as an array of characters. Okay, array of characters ending with a null character. Always string will have a null character at the end. So and what our program is going to do, it is going to perform a string operations. What is string operations? Compare means we are going to compare two strings. User will give us a two strings, and we will compare whether those two strings are equal or not. Example is user will give a string, one string as good and second string as morning. When we compare good and morning, those are not the same string. So either it will tell both the strings are equal or they are not equal. If user gives good as string number 1 and again good as string number 2, then then the compare function will tell that both the strings are equal. Next is the concatenate. Concatenate or join. The given two strings will be joined. String 1 and string 2 will be joined. The user will be giving two strings. Let's say user gives the string 1 as good, second one as morning. We will join together and make a third string good morning. Okay, that is the second string operation. And the third one is the length. What the length function will do is it will find the length of a particular given string. For example, user gives the string as good. So how many characters are there in the good? G-O-O-D. So 4 characters. It will return a number 4. Always this string length will return a number. Now these string operations, compare, concatenate and string length, we will be implementing it as a function. So I will be having 3 functions. One will compare. It will take 2 parameters, that is 2 strings it will take, and it will give me an output whether those are equal or not. Similarly, concat will take two inputs, string S1, string S2, and it will make a join of those two, and it will print the string S3, which is a join of S1 and S2. And string length function, it will always return a integer. For both the string S1 and string S2, it will tell what is the length. So that is the problem statement, and that is the understanding we have about this program. So let us begin to look into the program. Here we are going to have 3 different functions as we discussed, and these are the function declaration. First we will have hash include stdio.h. We are going to include the standard input output header file. So hash include stdio.h, that is the first statement of our program. Immediately following that, before writing the main function, we are going to do the function declaration. As we understand, function declaration will inform the compiler about the name of the function, what type of value it returns, and how many arguments it takes, and what are those data types. These are the information compiler will come to know. For example, scompare is the name of the function we have given for doing the comparison, and it returns void. Return value of void means this function will not return any value, and it takes two strings. You can see character array str1 and empty bracket comma character str2 empty bracket empty square bracket closing parenthesis semicolon. So here this empty is allowed only when you are specifying the declaration. If you are doing the string declaration array declaration, then you must specify the size. Now next one is a sconcat next function. It will also not return any value, and it takes two string as a argument. The next one slength is the function which returns a integer value, and it takes one string as an input, and it will return the length of that string. Now we'll see the main function. The main function starts with the main pair of parentheses. This is the opening curly brace, and this is the ending curly brace. Program starts there and ends here. So inside the main program, what we have declared two strings str1 of maximum size is 50 and str2 maximum size is 50, and you can see this is a character array, and we have two variables le1 len2, len1 len2, those are integers. Now we will prompt user to enter the string. Enter the first string. Then we have scanf. Please notice the format specifier here is %s inside the double quotes. %s is used for reading the strings, comma str1 close the parenthesis and semicolon. One more thing you must notice here is we do not have ampersand. Whenever we are reading a string, okay, the name of the string itself is the address. That is the reason we don't put an ampersand when we are reading the string. So str1 is the actually address of the string itself, str2 is the address of the string 2. So you have to make sure that you understand this. Scanf %s without ampersand, you give the name of the string. Similarly, next string, enter the second string, and you use the scanf and %s and str2 no ampersand. So these two scanf functions will read the string from the keyboard. Let us say user gives the first string as good. Good is stored in str1, and how it is stored? So good is like 4 characters long, and on the first memory location, that is str1 of 0, G will be stored. str1 of 2, O will be stored. str1 of index location 2, another O is stored, and at index location 3, D will be stored, and at index location 5, a null character. So how null character is stored, and what is a null character? So it would be \0, okay, inside a single quotes, that is called as a null character. Now we will have two values, and whatever the value user gives, that will be stored in the str2 in similar pattern what I just explained. Now we are going to call the two functions, comparison of two strings, scompare, and this is first thing is the function declaration we did. This is the function declarations. Then this is a function call. When you are doing the function call, just you will give the name of the function, and you will pass the two strings, because this particular function expects two string values. That string str1, str2 you are passing, and if you notice, we are not assigning this value to anything, we are just calling. The reason being scompare does not return any value, so we just call scompare, and it will do the comparison, and it will print the result in the function itself. and next one is sconcat. This is a call to the sconcat function passing str1 str2 to string values. Next we have len1. len1 is a integer variable that we have here, the integer variable len1, len2. Those are the two variables that we are going to use to store the length of the both the string. len1 is equal to s length. This is function call passing the string 1. So this function will calculate the length and it will return the integer, and that integer is stored in len1. Similarly, len2 is equal to s length of string 2. So this length will be stored in len2, and then we are going to print length of the first string. %s is %d. This %s is str1, %d is its length. Similarly, we are going to display the second string and its length. Now if you take the example string 1 as good, how the output would be length of first string colon good is 4. That is how it will be printed. Now we will see the functions one by one. First we will see the s length, because that s length is used in the s compare. So first we will see the s length. So you can see here s length. This is called as a function definition. This first line is very similar to the function declaration, but no semicolon. Instead we have open curly brace, closing curly brace, and this particular function returns an integer and it takes a one argument of a string. Inside we have a local variable called len, and we have a for loop. Initially len is equal to 0, and we are checking the condition, the whatever the past string. Initially this is 0 means the first element, first character not equal to null. So example, we take good, so we get the string as good. len is 0, str1 of 0 is g, at index location 0 g is there, g not equal to null, true. And if you see, there is a no statement, we do not have any statement, it will directly increment len to 2. That is the reason we have a semicolon here, because we don't need any statements. So it is a null statement. The semicolon is given. Len will increase to 1, str1 of 1, at index location 1 we have o not equal to null, true. Then next length will become 2, at 2 index location we have another o is not equal to null, true. Again no statements in the for loop, so it will increment the len value to 3. Now str1 of 3, at index location 3 we have letter d is not equal to null, that is also true. Then length will become from 3 it will become 4. When it becomes a 4, str1 of 4, at index location 4 we always know the null, the strings end with a null character. We have a null character. Null character is nothing but this. We have \0 here, so both are equal. Now we have null character here. Null character not equal to null character, which is false, because both are equal. When it is false, it will come out of the loop. Now what is the value of the length? Is 4. So what we will do is we will return. So whenever this comes out of the loop, len will have the length. We return 4 to the calling function. Now we will see the s compare. Okay, this is the s compare. S compare, it does not return anything. That is the meaning of void return type is 0. S compare, it needs 2 characters, 2 strings, str1 str2, and initially we set the I value as 0 and flag is equal to 0. Now first thing what we are going to check, whether the length of both is same or not. So suppose the example user has given first string as good, second string as morning. What is the length of good? 4. And what is the length of morning? It is 7. When it comes here, s length of good, so it calls this function and this function returns a value of 4. Then again this function is called s length with the value of second string as morning. It will return 7. 4 equals 7, which is false. When it is false, flag is set to 1. Whenever we set the flag as 1, that means it is the two strings are not equal. If flag is equal to 1, printf the strings are not equal. If flag is equal to 0, the strings are equal. We will come back to the same statement again here. Let us say user has given two strings as good and good. So s length of good is 4, s length of good is 4. So 4 is equal to 4, true. Now we will do the checking of each character. Character by character comparison we will do, and if all are same, then we will return the we will not do anything. Otherwise, if any of the characters are not equal, then we will set the flag is equal to 1. Flag is equal to 1 means the strings are not equal. For start with I is equal to 0. I is equal to 0. We have first we will check string 1. First string is good. Okay. Of I is 0. What is str1 of 0? G. G not equal to null. True. It will come inside. For the first string at first index location we have G, and the second string at the first index location we have G. So G not equal to G, which is the string location 1 we have Z at 0 location we have G, and this is not equal to string 2 location at index location 0, that is also G. G not equal to G, that condition is false, right? G is equal to G. So this condition true will not be executed, there is no else. It will increment the I value. Now I value will become 0, from 0 it will become 1, str1. So I value is incremented to 1. At index location 1 we have O. O is not equal to null, true. Again we are going to compare the string 1 and true at the index location 1. If both are equal, then this will not satisfy. If both are not equal, then this will satisfy. Flag will become 1. Once the flag becomes 1, then when we compare, if flag is equal to 1, the strings are not equal. If flags are not if flag is 0, then strings are not equal. So let us take one example and then we will understand this better. Let us say we have a two strings s1 and s2, and these are the index locations 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we have two strings good and good. So first what we will do is, if you see the program here, first we will check the length of the both. Good length is same, so it will come inside. Now we will start with the index location 0, and for the string 0 I will check whether it is not equal to 0. So at location 0 G is there, it is not equal to 0, and if that condition is true, then we will compare this G with this G. If both are equal, then I will move on to the next one. If again I will check both the characters, if both are not equal, I will move to the next one. Again I will check both the characters. If they are not equal, I will move to the, if they are equal, I will move to the next one. Then again at that location I will check whether both are equal. Then I will move to the next location. When I come to the null, that is when we stop it. So when do we stop it? When we reach that particular value as a null. So you can see here, when it becomes null, we stop it. And as long as both strings are equal, this will never get executed. So initial value is set as 0. Then if both strings are good, this condition will get never satisfied, and the first string reaches the null, and it will come out of the if. So this come out of the for loop, and it will come to the this. So at that time the flag value is 0, and it will print strings are equal. Let us take one more case where first one is good and second one is gold. Now what happens is, first it will do the comparison here. First it will check both the length are same. Good is having the length of 4, gold is also having a length of 4. So it will come inside the for loop. So it will, both the lengths are same, it will come here. First index location, what is the string value? G not equal to null, so it will true, it will come here. So it will check string 1 G and string 2 G, both are the G at index location 1. So it will move to the next location. Next location, both values are equal, it moves to the next location. When it comes to the next index location 2, S1 has a value of 0, S2 has L. So this is 0, str1, this is 0, and this is not 0, this is O, this is L. O not equal to L, true, the flag is set to 1. When flag is set to 1, it will say the strings are not equal. Next we will see the concatenation or joining of two strings. So this function concat also returns void, that is, it will not return any value, and it takes two arguments, str1, str2. And what we are going to do is, we are going to have one more string variable in which we will store the joined string. And if you see the string 3 size, it is double the size of both of these, so that it can store all the values. Now what we will do is, the technique that we are going to use here is, in string number 1, in string number 3, first I will copy all the values of the string 1. Suppose string 1 is good, first I will copy all the character by character into string 1, and from the next location I am going to copy all the values of the string 2. So you can see the first for loop, I is equal to 0, str1 of I not equal to null I plus plus. What it will do is, basically it will go through the complete string until it finds a null. If example is good, it will go it will go to each location, find G, O, D, all the characters. So string number 3, when it is at 0 location, 0, string of 1 is 0, G will be stored into string 3. Okay, and next location it moves to the next location, next character is stored. So when this loop completes, what happens is, the string 1 is copied onto string 3 except the null value will not be copied. Then we move to the next. Again J will start from the 0, but string 3 should start from I plus jth location. It cannot start from the I, because it's going to overwrite what we have copied from the string 1. J is equal to 0, string 2 J not equal to null. So this particular statement makes we go through the second string completely. So let's say second string is morning, so we go through the morning and we will store it in the next subsequent location. And once this for loop is complete, second string is copied onto the string 3. Now string 3 has string 1, string 2 both, and most important thing, we should have the ending character as the null character. So st3 I plus j is equal to null should be appended, and printf, the concatenated string is %. So we will print the concatenated string. Let us go through this one in detail here. Let us say we have the string s1 as good, and let us say we have this as morning. Good. So this is how, if I have so this will be the 2 character arrays, and this index would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay. Now we are going to create a new array S3, which will have the concatenation join of both the two. So S1 plus S2. So I will have bigger location here. I am not sure if that is sufficient. Now what I will do is, the technique is, first we will go through this S1, we go from index 0 to 4, and how to do that, we will check the character, we will go each character by character until it is not equal to null. So you can see that I is equal to 0, string 1 not equal to null. So we are checking this, and we are checking until it is not equal to null. So if it is not equal to null, what we are doing, string 3 of I is equal to string 1 of I. So whatever is in the G index location 0, we will be copied onto this location, and next value is, this value is copied here, next is also not null, so this value is copied here, and next value of the S1, we are looping through the S1 until we reach null, and we keep on copying. When we find the null, we stop. Okay. Now the index location of this is already 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Now we should copy the string 2 from this location. So I value is, now I value after this iteration I value is 4. Now 4 plus 0, that is I plus j, we are going to copy from the string 3 I plus j location, and j will be from 0 to until not null. So that is how we are going to copy this into, this would be my I plus j. I is 4, j is 0, this becomes 4. So I value is always 4. So we are going to add 4 to the index of S3. So that is how I am going to copy M, okay, then O, R, N, I, N, G. Okay, this is how it looks like, and so this copying is done until this value G. Now what we do, at the end we copy the null, manually we copy the null. So this is how we get the concatenated, and you can see the S3, it has good morning. So both the strings are concatenated and appended with a null character. This is how we get the concatenated string that you can see here. You can see here at the end str I plus j is equal to null. So that is the program, all the functions we went through. The output, how does the output looks like? The output looks, you can see here, we have enter the first string good, enter the second string good. Once we have two strings, the strings are equal, though this is the output from the S compare, the concatenated string good good. So it has joined both that is the join. This is the first function, second function, and s length we are calling 2 times. Okay, length of the first string good is 4, length of the second string good is 4. We run the program again and we give 2 strings which are not equal, good and morning. The strings are not equal. This is the s compare. The concatenated string good morning, length of the first string good is 4, length of the second string morning is 7. That is how we get the output. Now let us see the flowchart quickly. The same program, we will understand it through the flowchart. This is the flowchart we have. So of course the flowchart is bigger because we are going to have a main program as well as 4 different functions. So this is the main program. Start, first we are going to read the string s1, then read string s2, then we are going to make the function calls s compare s1 by passing the values s1 and s2. So these are function calls. Concat bracket s1 s2, another function call. So these two will not return any value, so I did not assign it to anything. The next function call, even this is a function call, this is a function call. S length we are calling with passing the s1 string, that value is stored in len1, and len2 is equal to s length of s2. So this value is stored in len2 and we are going to display the string lengths l1, len1, len2 here, and then stop the program. So that is basically this first part. So first part is what? We are reading 2 strings, calling compare, s compare, calling s concat with these 2 values, then calling s length 2 times with both the strings, storing in len1, len2 and printing the len2. So that is the this part of the flowchart. Then we will see the each functions. Okay, function s length. Function s length, I will just show it the program first, then it will makes the function first and then we will talk about. See, s length, so we have one for loop here and there is no statements in the for loop and we return the value. So we will compare this one here. This is the start of the function. Initially len is set to 0, len is equal to 0, this is the len is equal to 0, then we check whether it is not equal to null. If s of 0 not equal to null, if it is a true, what we are doing, we are increasing, there are no other statements in the for loop, we are increasing the len value, len is equal to len plus 1 and going back and checking again the next character is not equal to null. This is repeated until we reach the null character. Once it reaches the null character, null not equal to null, that is a false. When it is false, we return whatever value is in the len. Next function s compare. In case of a s compare, I will show the program first, function first, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, this is s compare. So we are setting I value and flag as 0. First we are calling the 2 function and checking whether their length is equal. If it is equal, then we are comparing 1 by 1 character. Okay, 1 by 1 character, and if we find any characters are different, then we set the flag as 1. Otherwise what happens, flag will remain 0. Flag remains 0 means it is a strings are equal. So this is the start of the function, and initialize I is equal to 0, flag is equal to 0, and here in the if condition we are calling the function s length with value of s1 and s2. We are checking both are equal. If both are not equal, then we are setting the flag as 1 and we are going to continue with the rest of the program. If this condition is true, means both the string have a same length, we set I is equal to 0, that is we come here. If both are equal, we come here. First thing is I is equal to 0, we'll set that. Then we will check whether the first character at a 0th location is not equal to null. So not equal to null. If the condition is true, we are going to check whether S1 and S2 characters are same. S1 of I not equal to S2. If this condition is false, you can see here, I will keep on incrementing. As long as it is false, I will increment until we reach the end, right? But let us say if we get two different characters here, this is in our example, one was O and one was L, O not equal to L, it is true. In that case, what we do is we set the flag as 1. We are setting the flag as when characters are not equal, as well as when length are not equal. When string lengths are not equal, it definitely both strings cannot be the same, but there can be chances lengths are equal but they have different characters. Example, good and gold, both has a 4 characters, but here in this part of the program, the good and gold at index location 3, it will fail. So it will 0, it will have O and this will have L, and this will set a flag is equal to 1. Once the flag is set as 1, so this will continue until we are done with the first string. When condition becomes false, it will come here, it will come here, and it will check if flag is equal to 1. If flag is equal to 1, if flag is equal to 1, if it is a true, display strings are not equal. If this condition is 0, means flag is 0, display strings are equal, and we stop. Don't use the stop, this is a mistake. You should use the return. So control will go to the main program. The stop will happen only in the main program. Please make this correction. The concat. So next is concat. In case of a concat, we will join this is the start of the function with the 2 parameters, 2 values s1 s2. I will show you concat program here. Okay, so this is the beginning. We have a third string. We will copy the first string, then we move to the next location I plus j and copy the second string, and at the end we append with the null character. That is the logic that is used. So initialize I is equal to 0. We are looping through the first string. We are making sure s1 is not equal to null, means this character is not equal to null. If it is not equal to null true, then we will copy s1 into s3. s3 of I is equal to s1 of I. Increment the I value. Okay, as long as the string, the character, we don't get it as a null character, all the values are copied into s3. The minute we get it as a null character, it is false, we go to the next for loop and j is equal to 0. So j is equal to 0 is the next for loop. So this is the next for loop where we are going to copy the string 2. So here string 2 of j not equal to null. How long we will copy the second string? As long as we don't reach the null, means all the characters until null. So if this character is not null, if that statement is true, s3 of I plus j, this is very important. We are moving s3, already we have string 1. After that location, that is I plus j, we are going to store s2 of j. After storing j is equal to j plus 1, next character. We check the next character not null, again copy. As long as s2 doesn't come across a null character, we will copy all those values into s3. When s2 come across the null character, this statement becomes false. When it is false, what we are going to do, very important thing, we are going to append s3 I plus j with a null character, because every string must end with a null character. and display the concatenated string S3, and then again this should be a return. This is not correct, please use it as a return. So we return the program. So this completes the string operation function program as well as the flowchart.